All right, so for the next few reviews, I'm going to be looking at some sci-fi films that I want to revisit because these ones I haven't seen in a while, and I thought, yeah, they'll be good to check out. So, first one is a childhood favorite of mine, I, Robot, starring Will Smith, and it was also produced by Will Smith. It's made by 20th Century Fox, released July 7th, 2004. It was written by Jeff Vintar and Akiva Goldsman, and it was directed by Alex Proyas, who's also done The Crow and Dark City and a couple other interesting films. He has a quite unique back catalog. Had a budget of $120 million and it made over $347.2 million worldwide at the box office. Now, iRobot, like I said, stars Will Smith, and basically he plays a detective who is assigned to a task to uncover a murder or what appears to be a suicide, but he thinks is a murder of Dr. Alfred, who is one of the head scientists at U.S. Robotics. And basically, he travels around for a robo psychologist and tries to prove that if you program a robot to be evil, it can be evil and it can slowly take over and make a lot more evil. And basically, this is just a huge action sci-fi film. um, yeah, but yeah, and he goes and tries to prove his point where everyone doesn't believe him. But surely enough, bigger things happen where a lot more people slowly start realizing he was telling the truth. So yeah, this was quite a ride. Um, so first up, what I liked about it is story is actually very engaging. Like it seems basic, but they definitely put a lot of good like twists and turns in it a bit and have you guessing a bit, especially if it's your first time watching it, or if you haven't watched it like I have in a while. I forgot most of it was, so it was still a fun time to watch that again. And yeah, Will Smith always does a good job in movies, I find, and yeah, a lot of likable characters. There's a lot of likable characters in it, and even the villain in this is pretty well crafted and put together. And yeah, and there's a lot of good action scenes in this. A lot of um, fu- good sci-fi fighting and stuff like that, and it's quite the spectacle to watch. One thing I was nervous about going into this film is if the CG holds up, and for the most part, it does. I was pretty impressed with that. Um, for the most part, it doesn't look as cartoony and stuff. Maybe in some scenes, like when he's driving the car and the two robot trucks sort of like turn sideways and block him in, they all get in. That look sort of cartoonish. But other than that, like they do a pretty good. It still holds up for the most part, even though it's been like 16 years since this came out. And yeah, but it's still a good story, a fun time, and yeah, there's only a few minor things that aren't that I wasn't too impressed with. Is some of the side characters kind of seem just to be thrown in there and not really like a big part of the story. They're more just to have like other relatable characters for other people to relate to almost, or to more likable characters to feel sorry for later on, which I thought was kind of dumb. If they kept just the two main ones and maybe have like the two or three supporting ones on either side, then it would have progressed the story more, I thought. But overall, it was still pretty decently well written. Um, yeah, and like I said, there's a few scenes where the CG doesn't hold up, but it's for the most part, it still looks pretty good for a film being that old. Usually things start looking super dated, like Thor the original or something stupid like that. Well, Thor the original dated when it first was released, but yeah. Um, but yeah, iRobot. I'm surprised this one didn't have a sequel, but they kind of ended it perfectly to where that you would have to like do something drastic to make a sequel. Where now, but this doesn't really need a sequel or franchise. It's a good, solid film to stand on its own, and it's a good sci-fi watch. If you're an action fan, if you're a sci-fi fan, you'll love this film. Like, I know a lot of people who love Terminator really like this one as well. So yeah, it's a little more family oriented and stuff, but it's still a really fun watch. Um, yeah, there's not much else to complain about. So what am I gonna give this one? Well, it's not a perfect score, but it is still a really good movie. I'm giving this one 4.5 out of 5 because why not? It's a good sci-fi popcorn flick, so you can sit down and watch it if you're looking for something to watch. Yeah, don't expect anything too drastic or anything like that. It's not like a mind messer up or anything like that. It gets straight to the point and gives you a good ride to the finish. So, yeah, 4.5 out of 5 from me. Trailers linked down below if you forgot what this movie was about. If for some reason you haven't heard of it, it's linked down below. Also, my Instagram's always linked down below too, where I post clips of films I'm going to review in the future on my story, and I hide the title in a hashtag somewhere in the video clip if you want to try to figure out what I'm watching. And yeah, that'll be most likely the film I review next. So make sure you follow me there. Like this video, share it if you really want to. Make sure you subscribe because for the most part you probably won't know what I'm going to be talking about next unless you follow me on Instagram. And so make sure you subscribe, and I'll probably actually help you find something weird that you never knew existed at some point. So yeah, make sure you subscribe. Yeah, make sure you comment down below if you've seen this. Do you love it as much as I did, or do you have other opinions about it? I'd love to hear about it. Also, if you have films that you want to hear my opinions on at some point in the future, comment those down below too. I'll try my hardest to get to them and watch them and get the reviews up for you as soon as I can. So yeah, make sure you comment those down below. And till the next one, I guess I'll have to make sure the robots don't come alive during this COVID pandemic. That will suck. But I'll see you in the next review.